And gents, this is your boy Cupcake as well as Mr. Not Joey fucking Gags, Joey Cannoli. What's going on, bud?
Hey, what's up, man? Yeah, I had to change my name to go along with the theme of desserts, I guess.
Yeah, I mean we got Team Cupcake and Cannoli, so that'll make for some juicy content, or should we say sweet content.
There you go. There you go.
Yes. But we're live here from Maggiore, to where I had to change the time because apparently everybody just lost all will to drive and decided to do donuts in the parking lot. And we might have to fire our pit crew as well because they were probably the ones that provoked it. But let's see who we've got here. We've got Patriotic Tifosi. We've got good old Igor Klee in that beautiful Full Attack Motorsport BWT livery, as well as the newest member of FAMS as well, Apex Doctrine, in the same gorgeous livery. Baylor's looks like he's late to the party, but better late than never. We got a good old J-Rod in the Red Bull. Venom in the Ferrari. So I tell you what, after last race, with all the drama and everything that went on, I'm excited to see what's going to happen here, especially after last week's event.
Yeah, I mean, I'm exhausted from the last race, to be honest with you. And it was an exciting race. I can't wait to see what these guys pull off on this one. It's nicer to be in the stands and watching rather than actually driving right now. But we'll see what these guys come off with.
Yep, and we are currently live with Presidio, and it looks like he has ditched us. He had a little too much donuts there and decided to leave. But right now, looks like nobody's on their time lap yet. And now we've got the one and only Vasco Francisco coming out to play in his Team Ferrari livery.
And some of these liveries are really sweet looking, boy. They put a lot of time into these.
Yeah.
I am having some trouble trying to get to where I'm supposed to be here. Let's see if I can call a technician or something.
Alright, yeah, you might want to do that. No, I think you need to call farmers, because, I mean, they've seen a thing or two.
And they just pop up, though. I don't like that.
Yeah. Now, what I'm going to do here, I'm going to do something different. Let's find somebody who is just starting their lap, with none other than Venom. I'm going to give viewers here a look at this track, because this track is probably one of our trickiest tracks of the season. Due to all the blind curves, all the sudden turns, it's probably one of our most demanding as well. What do you think?
I think so. I mean, unless you've driven it a while before you get out there, and a lot of these drivers know the track a little bit, a lot of them have been practicing, but unless you get out there, it's going to be tough because every time you come around a turn, you're expecting to see something, but you know what? It's a blind turn. You have to kind of either know it or slow down to go around it. So that's what makes it very challenging and actually very exciting to watch how these guys handle it.
Yeah, and you know, I'm on board here with Venom. He's going through the infamous S's, and I will tell you, I had no idea how to take those turns. I mean, they are tricky.
Yeah, and some of them, you know, you're right next to that grass, and one of your tires touches that, or if you're going a little too fast, you're going to lose it. There's no way to hold back, those tires back on the pavement. If you, at the speeds you're going, to be able to bring it back, it's going to be very difficult. So you have to be careful with that.
You do. I mean, you've got to be, you got to be cautious. But, you know, I'm watching Venom right now. Looks like he's going to pull a 1:39. He's going to be qualifying in third. And,
nice.
yeah, nice time. So, let's take a look here. Let's see who we've got. Looks like we got good old J-Rock qualifying in first with a 1:38. Patriotic with 138, or no, not 138, 139. Venom, not too far behind, 139.9. Igor, 141. Clee, 146. I imagine he probably made a mistake there, but he's got some time to put in a good lap. Apex, 213. Come on. I mean, he made a mistake. He's going to be fine. He'll recover. Baylor's just kind of hanging out, doing his thing. Not a care in the world. Presidio, speaking of not having a care in the world, this dude right here, running 8th, he is on his hot lap at the moment, and he is on a purple lap, so we best be quiet or he's going to jump out of that car and maybe punch both commentators in the face.
They take this very seriously, right? I mean, they're running and they see a purple lap. They want you to shut up and just get out of their way.
They do, but, you know, with him and Vasco being the commentators, from what they were telling us, I guess they were cursing us the whole time, which explained a lot of circumstances. I mean, that was probably one of our most dramatic races of the season. And I mean, the East Side Division's a pretty tame group for the most part.
Yeah, and in the past races, they were tight, but you know, there were fewer drivers a couple of times, and a couple of those races were, I guess, you know, a foregone conclusion on who's in front and who's going to win. This one was a lot tighter,
Cool.
you know, and it was just grabbing that steering wheel and just squeezing it until you choke it to death, and going around those turns is incredible.
Oh, no kidding. No kidding. It takes a lot out of you.
Yeah, and we had a new driver in that, the Kitchenator, who did
Kitchenator. Well, folks, his correct name is the Kitchuation, but I mean, dude,
yeah.
the way he raced, you could have swore he threw everything in the kitchen sink at people, which I commented on the page there. You know, that's something you don't want to do. The last thing we need is head injuries due to flying pipes, flying sinks. I think I might have seen a stove or an oven on the side, as well as a fridge. So not only is he going to be fined $2.5 million, he's going to be hit with a charge for littering. So, very disappointing, sir. Very disappointing. But, now, all jokes aside, I mean, first race, fresh to the group. I mean, fresh. I think he joined, what, Wednesday? Tuesday?
Yeah, brand new.
He comes out, not only beats the leader, the current points leader, or, well, the founder of the current points leader, and a seasoned racer. I mean, he finished 4th. That is pretty impressive there. And looks like my co-host must have got pretty mad and stormed out of the room. Look, sir. Look.
I'm still here.
Oh,
but,
there you are.
The video feed that we're getting isn't cooperating with me, so I'm trying to get them to fix that.
Alright, well, we don't have one of our mechanics operating the camera, right?
Yeah, we fired everybody, actually. You know.
Oh, yeah, I forgot. We're doing everything ourselves now.
We're pretty much doing it all ourselves, and it's working out so far, so
it
we're
is,
saving
man.
a lot of money, too. You can buy extra cupcakes and cannolis for everybody.
Yes. We're going to open our own bakery, and it's going to be called Cupcakes and Cannolis Racing.
All right, I got my video feed now. I just had to kick it.
Good job. Well, did you have to, like, love kick it, or kind of...
It was a nice kick, but, you know, making sure that it knows that I'm not messing around, the next kick would have been a lot harder.
Yeah. Alright. So I'm going to send out final lap here. That is not Finland, it is final. So right now, looks like Presidio, has qualified first with a 136.2. Baylor's Not too far behind, 136.3. Venom's at a 138.3. J-Rod is at a 138.6. Patriotic 138.8. Clee 140. Igor 141. Apex 146, and Vasco's just kind of chilling at the moment. Looks like his best lap was a 136.3, which for someone who's had 4 hours of sleep in 2 days is impressive.
Yeah. I mean, that's it's an impressive thing when you have no concentration, right? 4 hours of sleep in 2 days, it's difficult to focus. And these speeds, let's see if it affects his driving. I'm guessing it has to, right? I mean, he's one of our top drivers, but still, without that concentration, it's going to be tough for him.
It is. It's going to be very tough, but, I did have reports here earlier today that he has downed about 15 cups of espresso, and he did tell me, too, he tended to mix 5-hour energy drinks in with them on about 7 or 8 cups, so he might be tired, but by God is he wired. Speaking of which, I mean, he has, whoa, this is a RWB first right here. Presidio and Francisco are tied for 2nd place.
Oh my goodness, how do you do that?
No idea, but leave it to those two. So I'm gonna go ahead and wish them luck, and I'll say good evening. We'll do that one. Alright, so
yeah, they're ready to go. You can almost feel it. You can feel the tension, you can feel the excitement. They're ready to go.
Yeah, I mean, they're
wave that flag.
They're pumped. They are so pumped.
So am I. I mean, I can't wait to see this 22 laps. It'll be interesting to see what strategies people have. It's usually a two-stop race, but how do you mix tires? How do you mix the stops for gas and fuel? It'll be interesting to see.
Yeah, I mean, this track will eat your tires alive.
Oh man, those turns do not forgive.
Alright, so right.
Here we go.
Yep, Baylor's first, Presidio second, Vasco third, Patriotic fourth, Venom fifth, J-Rod sixth, Cleekly seventh, Igor eighth, and Apex ninth. So here we go. So right now it looks like Baylor's is taking the lead. Going around turn one, everything looks pretty tame.
Yeah, there's a little bump there, but they all know that you can't win in that first turn, so they're trying to respect that and really save their laps, and they're fighting for later on.
Yeah, and I need to exit out of here real quick. We'll go back into spectate. There we go. So right now I am on board with Patriotic Defoe. He's got J-Rod right on his tail. But looks like he's going to hold him off. He's going to try and pass Vasco here for fourth. Venom right now is running in third. And Patriotic right now is sitting at about a 3.3 second lead. Oh, looks like somebody's getting wide there. Can't really tell those two Ferraris apart. And now we got Venom fourth, Francisco third. Brilliant move on Francisco's part, but J-Rod, he is looking to take the spot away from Patriotic. Does he do it? Not quite. Now we got a drag race.
Yeah, and they're side by side there.
They are. They're bumping and they're going ham.
And there's a lot in this race has to do with patience and trying to figure out exactly what the others and how they're driving. So it might not be advantageous for them to jump up front and tear up those tires. And just take a look at how people are driving, and you can see some of the drivers are doing just that. They're not jumping into that corner as fast as you can until maybe a little later.
Yep, and it looks like Cleekly has taken the spot away there for J-Rod. He is going after Patriotic, but gets into the rumble strips. Yep. Oh, yeah. Yeah, come on, boys. It's only a second lap.
If this is any sign of how this race is gonna go.
Yeah, it's gonna be full of drama.
And Presidio's holding that lead.
That he is. Oh, we got a wreck. Baylor's spun out.
Oh. And he drops down to 8th. Igor's coming up and will take that position. Oh, no, he doesn't. Yeah, he does.
Yep, he does. But right now, it looks like Presidio is sitting at a very cool 3.6 seconds ahead of his rival and co-commentator Vasco Francisco,
who's number 1 ranked right now.
Yep, who is leading.
Points in this.
Yep. And then we got Venom, his teammate, right in 3rd, about 2.5 seconds away from Francisco at the moment, but about 2 seconds ahead of Patriotic. So he's right in that sweet spot. You know, he's that sweet spot has got to be better than cupcakes and cannolis. Let me tell you.
Don't say that. Don't say that.
I'm gonna say it.
And Presidio's pulling away and doing, you know, I think he's figuring, let me get away from this pack. And if I stay far enough ahead, I'll have a little bit of time to take these turns the way I really want to rather than being pushed. Yeah,
and I'm currently on board with Presidio at the moment. And, I mean, looking at the way that he drives the vehicle, he's very gentle with the steering. You know, he doesn't sit there and just jerk the wheel around like he's some kind of maniac. Or some driver from Kentucky. You know, he's very smooth. He's very analytical.
Yeah, and with these cars, plus this track, which is very demanding on these cars, you kind of have to do that. You sacrifice a little bit of speed to be able to make those turns nice and gentle because, you know, you don't want to buy tires used and tear up the ones that you have and run out.
Yeah, and see right now,
Francisco, yep.
Right now, not a lot of drama going on here. Looks like Patriotic is doing everything he can to stay in 4th, but goes outside of the track, gets passed by Baylor's, Cleekly, J-Rod, and we've got about a 3 or 4 way battle here for 4th place.
Yeah, and even beyond that, I mean, everybody's... Oh, and Patriotic goes into the grass.
Yep, that's going to hurt him there in the long run. Baylor's has now dropped down to 7th. But I have a feeling he's going to be back. You know, he's not that kind of guy to sit there and give up and say, oh, well.
No. And, you know, it also takes a little bit of time for these drivers to kind of settle in. You know, at the very beginning, you're still trying to feel things out, and little by little, you start settling in and knowing the track, and tires form up.
Oh, sorry there. We had a little bit of contact there between Baylor's and J-Rod. J-Rod goes on the outside. Baylor's has a kind of brake a little too late there, hit J-Rod, and then proceeds to hit a wall. Somebody called the paramedics.
Oh, boy, that looked bad, too.
Yeah, that did look bad. That looked ugly. And now we got a straight drag race between Igor and Patriotic at the moment. Looks like Patriotic's going to drop back and not even think about passing Igor here through these S's, which is a very smart move because these curves can make or break a race.
Yeah, and there's a lot of strategy. There's a lot of thinking going on, especially when you're reaching those turns and you have somebody either behind you or on the side. You have to really make that decision. Do I you know, fight it out? Do I lean back and let them have it, and I'll come back later? It's a tough decision, and depending on what stage of the race you're on, you probably make a different one depending on how many laps you got left.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Look at the gap that Francisco has to 3rd place.
Yeah, I know. 10 or 11 seconds behind, or ahead of Venom, but look at that. Look how much he cut down on the lead there on Presidio. You know, Presidio was rocking almost a 4-second lead, and now it's down to about 1.2 of a second. And I think that cup of espresso and 5-hour energy has really paid off for him at the moment.
I think so. I think so. And if you look, I think Francisco really wants to catch up to Presidio. He does not want him to get away. He's been using his overtake to make that happen, and you know that strategy is so that they can break away from that group, and they actually can help each other if he stays in the stream. He wants that stream.
Yeah, I mean, they could, but, you know, at the same time, they're about 12, 13 seconds ahead of third place at the moment, which, let's go back to third place here. Looks like we've got a pretty good battle going on here, just for third spot, and this is between, let's see, this is a 5-car race for third place at the moment.
Yeah, everybody's real tight, tucking in behind each other and reaching those turns and making that decision how to make that turn and still side by side, not spinning out.
Yeah, and poor Venom here, man. He's, you know, there's a little inside joke that we use here, but I got to keep it rated PG for the stream. In short, Venom, get off of the couch. Get off of the couch. Get away from the couch. Because you are...
And Venom has a pack behind him, just waiting to get it, you know, right behind him and pass him. And here comes Baylor's.
Yep.
Right behind
Baylor.
him.
See, I told you, Baylor's is not going to have it, man. Looks like he just passed Venom for third. And now he's got Patriotic on his tail now. Is anybody going to make a move? No. A little bit of contact there between Patriotic and J-Rod, but not enough to cause a wreck. But let's go check on our leaders here, because it looks like Presidio has built a pretty sizable gap between himself and Francisco.
Yeah, and that's not easy to do. You can tell Francisco just went wide again. You know, that espresso coffee might not be doing the trick right now, but he's really riding on the edge.
Yeah, and I think that edge is going to be as thin as a razor blade. I mean, especially on this kind of track, man. I mean, you know, we were talking about it earlier. This is easily one of the trickiest tracks that we've ever been in. Now, after lap 6, looks like Francisco is going to pit. Looks like, is he going to go for a full stop? Which I think more than likely is. Baylor's right behind him. You know, probably going to go for another full stop as well as Venom. So I think there's a little bit of a team strategy here playing out between both Ferrari cars.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, they're leading the series. The Ferraris are, and you know they do talk to each other constantly, and they make sure that they have the strategy there. Let's see if it pays off. They went 6 laps, but they pushed. Right, Francisco pushed really hard, so he went in there for some fresh weather.
Yeah, and that he did, and you know, I think they've taken a lesson or two from us there, Joey, especially after last week. You know, with the teamwork, we almost caught Rusty there and took him for a ride, but you know,
that's not easy to do.
It's not
easy to do.
It's not. Now, you know, they got to realize communication is key, which that is a reason why a lot of us will run private party chats during this race. Because we don't want anybody else to disturb us or anything of that sort. I know we had the Kituation on there, but he was new. He was confused like no other. He was like a lost puppy. Which sounds bad, but, you know.
Until you saw him on the
yes.
on your rearview mirror, and then you know he was a puppy.
No, he was like a pit bull.
Oh, man. And Presidio has a nice, comfortable 20-second lead. It'll be interesting to see if he comes in on this lap or if he keeps going. He's got a decent amount of gas. His tires are starting to feel it, though.
Yeah, and you know, I think that's still a pretty good gap there. I think he's going to come up maybe a second or two behind everybody else as soon as he gets done pitting. Which I imagine he might be pitting here within the next 2 or 3 laps. I'm kind of wondering.
he's been running really consistent laps. 136, 136, 137, 136, 136. I mean, he's distant, and that's what's going to win the race, I think.
Yeah, because consistency is key.
Yeah, and it's pretty incredible. He's just half a second off each lap from the other. So very, very consistent. And once you're ahead by that much, you kind of tend to relax a little bit. You don't have to fight anybody, and you can run a race the way you want to run a race.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, he's got control because I mean his lead is building too. He's now at a 22-second lead, dropped down to 21, but I think he's going to get that back. He's going through the slowest part of the track at the moment. Oh.
Yeah, and his tires are not really that bad. So he's driving very gently. He knows what he's trying to do. He wants to be consistent. Francisco is coming up, but 22 seconds behind.
Yeah, oh man, it looks like we got Igor and Apex in the grass. Oh man.
And some of these drivers, I mean, they're exceptional. So even when they mess up and they go in the grass or they bump into something, they know the race is not over. They do come back, and you're surprised how fast they come back.
Yeah, I mean, they recover pretty quick.
It looks like a bunch of drivers are deciding to pit, get fresh tires, and continue the race.
Yep, looked like we had Klee, Igor, and Apex. They're pitting.
Yeah, and everybody was clean coming out. Everybody understands the regulations about not crossing that pit line, especially in that turn. Someone coming up 180 miles an hour, it's probably not the safest thing to do to pop out.
It's not. And little do they know, if they do cross the line, we have mines deployed on those lines as well, so not only will they get penalized, they might just get blown up.
And they won't even know what happened. They'll just
no.
look around and say, what? But they'll learn.
Yeah, they will. They'll have to learn the hard way, but, it'll look like something out of a Looney Tunes cartoon.
It's also a lot of fun.
It is. It is. I like seeing stuff blow up. But speaking of blowing up here, we got a pretty good battle here for fourth place between Baylor's and Venom.
Yeah, they're and they've been battling that out for a few laps, right? I mean, they're tight and they're pressuring each other.
Yeah, I mean,
J-Rod just pulled in for a tune-up there.
Yeah, looks like a full pit stop.
Yep.
And looks like he's on Facebook at the moment while waiting. Oh, no, there he goes. And
he's checking in on Facebook, letting his friends know that he's in the pits.
Yep, yeah, it looks like he gets out of the line there nice and smooth, doesn't cross, so his car doesn't blow up, so we're good there.
Yeah, it's too bad, but that's good.
Yeah, and it looks like Francisco's starting to cut into Presidio's lead there. He is now about 19.9 seconds away from old Presidio.
And he hasn't pitted yet.
No, so. And he's going to have to after this lap. His tires are nearly shot. His gas gauge is on, which, there were reports of him using a piece of flex tape to cover up the gas light gauge. So, thanks for the product placement there, bud. But let's see. Well, goes into the pits. He's probably going to go for a full stop. Vasco right now, he's probably going to catch him, but you never know.
Yeah, we'll see. And pay attention that, Presidio hasn't touched the overtake yet. And Francisco is halfway gone with it, trying to catch him. So he'll have the upper hand in the end if he doesn't use that overtake, because you'll be able to catch up if he does fall behind you.
Yeah. Now, what's interesting to me is, Presidio, he's pitted on lap 11, so I'm kind of wondering if he's trying to go for a one-stop race.
It sounds like it. I mean, it looks like he can maintain very steady laps up to about 9. 8 or 9, and then he starts losing it. So it'll be interesting to see because, with the tires, getting worn by the end, it'll give a chance to someone with fresh tire to catch him. So it's a risky move.
Yeah, and right now I'm on board with Patriotic at the moment. Looks like Klee is hot on his heels with about a .8 second of a deficit there between himself and Patriotic. But looks like the pack is pretty much spread out for the most part.
It has spread out quite a bit, which, it's beneficial to some of these drivers because they're not battling. But we're just waiting for that battle to come. They have 11 laps, 10 laps to go. So that battle is coming, I guarantee it.
Yeah, and I think they learned their lesson from last week's race. Especially looking at all the medical bills between all the broken bones, bruises, car repairs. I mean, it was a bloodbath last week.
Yeah, plus the fights afterwards, right?
Oh yeah, I forgot about those.
Helmets flying, the bleachers getting emptied out by the fans. Incredible stuff.
It was, man. It was a show. It looked like something out of a mosh pit.
It sure did.
Yep. Oh, Igor goes for a little bit of a ride there in the dirt, but quickly recovers. Good job there, dude.
It never ceases to surprise me that, at these speeds, and they lose control, and they're able to feel that car slipping and still regain control, even at that speed.
Yeah, and I mean, looking at Baylor's here, he just went into the grass at the big banky boy, and managed to save it there, so that was a good job, but kind of set him back a little bit. He's about 3.5 seconds away from Presidio. Presidio is about 3.5 seconds away from Vasco, and he's got better fuel, better tires than Francisco. So
overtake.
And overtake, yes, absolutely. Yep. So I'm kind of curious to see how these strategies are going to work. Is a one-stop really going to work, or do you seriously need two?
Yeah, I mean, we'll find out, I think, because I don't think Presidio is going to stop again, unless he finds out that halfway through this, that strategy is not working, right? So if he figures that out and decides to pit, then we won't know. But that's what I think he's going for. It's a very risky move, but the benefits are huge if you pull it off.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I mean, it'll pay off in the end, big time. Man, there's really not much to talk about in this race.
I know. They're all spread out. The boost should be pulling some of the guys in the backup. But I think what they're doing is, after a few laps, they realize how this track really takes some victims, especially some of those turns, like that Venom is coming up to now.
Yeah, that's the infamous big banky boy.
Oh man, downhill, and then you spin around and you go uphill. I mean, it's it's almost like a whirlpool. You get sucked in, and if you get it right, it spins you around. If you get it wrong, goodbye.
Yeah, I mean, see you later.
And J-Rod is pressuring.
Oh
Venom
yeah,
right now, right on his tail.
Yep, look at him. He's going to try and make the pass there. I am currently on board cockpit view of J-Rod. So I'm kind of watching his movements and seeing how he's going to overtake Venom here. But not far behind him is Patriotic himself.
Here they come, yeah.
Yep.
Oh, and the old switcheroo there.
Yep. Brilliant move.
Takes off. Yep, and J-Rod's got better tires, so I did expect him to be able to overtake that.
Yep, so, it's funny, we were talking about not having much to say about this race, but now we're at a 4-car battle for 4th.
Yeah. And Fam's Klee's knocking on the back door there,
yep.
Trying to keep up. And you can tell, how hard some of these drivers are taking it, because if you have some gap, you'll see them take the turns a little bit slower and very smooth. And if you're trying to catch up and you got the slipstream, you know, you're not as smooth.
You're not. I mean, slipstream makes a world of a difference, which we're going to see next week at Fuji. That is going to be such a detrimental track.
Yeah. But I'll tell you, this one is kind of training for it. But I am surprised is that, you know, these groups that are together like this don't kind of just slip together in a single file and then just carry each other. They tend to go side by side and fight, which usually lets the leaders go even further, right?
Yeah, and I mean, especially battling, obviously you are going to lose time, you are going to lose positions, and most importantly, you're going to use your fuel and tires, so, you know, that's where I said where communication comes into play. Clearly there's no communication there between Venom and Cleekly. Venom kind of got into the side of Cleekly there, but now we got more pit stops.
Yeah, J-Rod is stopping, Cleekly,
Yep.
and Baylor's as well.
Yep.
Baylor's is, let's see what he puts on. He was on soft before.
Oh, now he's on super soft. He's going to go full attack.
Yeah. Everybody's on super soft with Steves.
It looks like everybody gets out of pit lane there. Pretty smooth, so no blown up cars yet.
And Francisco is still maintaining that lead. He's absolutely out.
Oh, no. Igor. I'm sorry there. Igor just crossed the line. Solid line.
Oh, no.
Oh, man. That'll be a 5-second penalty. And no, you cannot put it on your tab. But yeah, I mean, Francisco, he's got a pit, though. You know, he has got a pit.
He does. He's out of gas. The tires are worn pretty well. He's sliding sideways. You see them smoking as he's taking a turn.
Oh, yeah. Yep, but there he goes. Yep, there he goes to pit. Now what is Presidio going to do?
Presidio's got good fuel and more than half a tank, and he's got super softs on, and they're fine.
They are.
Yep.
Yeah, well, except for going in the grass.
I forget that we shouldn't mention the names because it's the commentator curse, but
yeah, I think that's with them, though. I mean, ooh, a little bit of, ooh, oh no, Patriotic, what was that? Oh, you missed it. Patriotic and Baylor's getting into it, and Patriotic has not let up. He has actually just went into the grass. Not sure if he's having any kind of technical difficulties, but Baylor says went past him. That is going to be worth taking a look at. The way there was contact, I don't know if maybe Patriotic was trying to pit or not. And Baylor's just wasn't letting him, but definitely some bad blood there between the two.
Yeah, we have to take a look in the replay. I did miss that. It'll be interesting to see exactly what happened once we take a peek.
Yeah, it's definitely pretty gruesome. You know, there's no point in calling a medic at this point. He just hit head on, and no amount of head on will help that wreck. If anybody gets that joke.
I guess it was too fast for me, so...
I guess it was. You know, there's a product, probably back in your guys' day, I remember seeing it on commercials as a kid called Head On, and it was like a big old chapstick, giant chapstick, that you rub on your forehead and apparently cures headaches, and that is not going to work for Baylor's.
Oh my god. No, I missed that. Like a deodorant for your head, that's kind of strange, but...
Yeah, well that was
anyway.
back to the racing there. If we talk about any products, it needs to be flex tape.
That's right.
You know, I'm still trying to get them to hook me up with free merchandise. So, FlexApe, if you're watching this, Phil Swifter, if you're watching this, hook a brother up, man.
Yeah, you're mentioning them enough, right?
Yeah, I've won a championship sporting a car. And I won races sporting the logo on the car. At least give me a dang hat.
Yeah, and half your car is held together with that.
Yeah, that too. That too.
Oh, and J-Rod goes off.
Ah, yep, I just seen it. But, you know, he's still doing pretty good, holding just about a 2-second lead there over Cleekly. Cleekly right now is freaking kicking it, man. He's in 4th place. Baylor's, though, hot on his tail at 5th.
Yeah, and I've seen Cleekly in, ooh, wow. I just saw Baylor's trying to catch up to Cleekly, and he is trying to cut every corner to get inside, and Cleekly finally had to let him through, and he's in front now.
Yep, Cleekly's doing the right thing there by being Canadian. You know, Baylor's clearly has the push on him. You know, so no point in Baylor's getting angry or whoever getting angry and you end up in a wreck. I think that's what happened to us there last race. Especially, you know, 2 laps before the end when I went to attack. And I ended up feeling the wrath of the big banky boy.
Yeah, that does take a lot of victims, that turn, especially if you're trying to fight or you're trying to get up front or take advantage of something and you're going a little too fast. That thing is going to suck you up.
It is, and it is big for a reason. I mean, I'm going to ride on board here with Baylor's, and look at the grade on that track. I mean, you know, you could take that turn at a pretty fast pace.
Yeah, and you're going downhill. You swing up, and it's banked, so you can take it very, very fast. But if you take it slightly wrong, all that speed is going to send you flying.
Yep, and looks like right now J-Rod's sitting at a very cool 3rd position, which hopefully he holds it off, and I think this will be a first podium finish of the series.
Yeah, that'd be nice to see. He's having a tough time keeping Baylor's and Cleekly off. But he's been able to do it so far. And there goes Baylor's.
Yep.
Just passed him up.
Yeah, but you know what? The race ain't over. We still got 4 laps to go.
Yeah, and we've seen J-Rod just take it easy and say, okay, no problem, go ahead and pass me. But you know what? I'm in your rearview mirror. I'm going to make you nervous, and I'm going to pass you up as soon as I can.
Yep. Oh, yeah.
And now, you know, 2nd, 3rd, and 4th are all kind of...
Oh!
You know,
speaking of which, J-Rod into the dirt. Come on, man.
Yeah, it gives a little relief to Baylor's and Cleekly now.
Yep.
While Francisco is about 4.5 seconds behind Presidio. Presidio has fresh tires, half a tank of gas, and Francisco's tires look a little bit worn, but not very much. So this is a good battle going on too. And Francisco's trying to cut that lead down, but Presidio is not letting him. He
is not gonna have it here at the moment. But, you know, I think the big thing is, too, Presidio's got fresh tires. I mean, they are as fresh and as crisp as a potato chip and Sprite. They're that crisp.
Yeah, and look at, if you look at Francisco, too, he's been trying to catch up, so he's, you know, close to being done with that overtake. But he's using it now. He knows that if he lets Presidio get away, you know, we're only 2 laps away, he's not going to be able to catch up.
Oh, Francisco in the dirt.
And still keeps going, though.
Yep.
Didn't miss a beat there.
Nope.
It's all that espresso.
It is. It is, and now we got a 4-way battle for 4th again between Patriotic, J-Rod, Cleekly, and Venom. you know, this group is
gonna
always
be interesting.
It is, and this group is always fun to watch. I mean, they put on a show and a half.
You could almost hear them screaming at each other.
Patriotic and Klee going to the grass. They're allowing J-Rod and Venom to go through. J-Rod is just kicking it there in fourth place. Venom, though, is hot on his heels. No sort of overtaking going at the big banky boy. Yeah, we gotta...
J-Rod pretty much used up all his overtake trying to get up in front of that pack because he knows you're in that pack, and if you're in the middle of it, you're going to end up on the side.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And J-Rod
and they take those turns perfectly. I mean, they just swung in and out.
Yeah, that was flawless on everybody's end. Brilliant racing, guys. Brilliant. But let's check in on the leader there. Running about a 4.5 second lead. 2 laps to go. It's gonna get good.
Yeah, and Presidio's got to be thinking now, okay, if I just keep it together and not get the pressure from Francisco coming up, I should be able to finish this off. And Francisco wants him to forget that idea, right? And he's trying to cut that lead, so at least Presidio sees him in his rearview mirror and hopes that the pressure, pulls him off to the side.
Yeah, and Francisco's presence and pressure can be felt, from what I was told, about 2 miles away. So, Presidio probably is feeling that pressure at the moment.
Yeah. You don't even have to see him. You know he's there.
You don't. It's like the force. You gotta feel the force, but this force is not a good one.
Patriotic and Venom side by side, and Patriotic is able to make that turn stick. Very, very nice overtake.
Yeah, but look at Venom. Don't count them out just yet. They're straight drag racing through these S's. And it looks like Patriotic's going to come out right in front of Venom. But man, I tell you what, Venom is putting up a heck of a fight.
Oh, yeah, these guys, I mean, hear those engines screaming as soon as there's a straightaway, and they're sticking together. All of them, I think, have a pretty decent tire situation. Klee does have those tires really worn, trying to catch up to these guys, though.
Oh yeah, his tires are shot. And then it looks like everybody else is doing pretty good, but Klee manages to get past Venom, but I don't think he's going to be up there for long, especially with the old worn tires. You got to play it safe. But now we are on our final lap here. Let's get some love here to Mr. Presidio or Presidio or Piano or Trology
or something. Yeah,
it's something about dogs.
And he extended his lead to 5.4.
He has
now, so he must feel pretty confident now with this race.
Yeah, and he has got to be overjoyed in the cockpit right now. He's probably thinking Francisco, Crisco, Cisco. It don't matter. Team Haas taking the W.
That's right. And Francisco right now has to be thinking, all right, I'm not going to catch him. I also don't want to make any mistake. He's got 12 seconds lead on third place, but you spin around and you can't get this car going in the grass, you might lose that 12 seconds pass. So he's taking it very slowly now.
But going across the checkered there is Presidio as well as Vasco.
Awesome race, awesome win, guys.
Yep, brilliant racing there, guys. Coming in third here, looks like Baylor's is going to be finishing third. And let's see who finishes fourth. Looks like the whole group is bunched up there at the moment.
Oh, and J-Rod is being chased.
He is being straight chased. And he is pretty much going to run out of fuel there across the line. J-Rod fourth, Patriotic fifth. Klee is out of gas. So he's just going to coast along.
Yeah.
Which, you know what? That's fine. You finished sixth. you know, heck of a race. The position, not a bad thing. You know, it's earned as well as for
Venom just passed the line too.
Yep. Igor is coming up here. He's going to finish 8th. And then Apex, let's get some love to him, man. I mean, he's run a pretty good race tonight. Granted, he finished 9th, but you know, he's still learning everything, so you can't really hate on him.
No. I mean, keeping up with these guys is no easy feat, and you know, there he comes. I mean, it's got to feel good anyway. Coming through, great driving.
Yep. Now, great race though, great race. But Igor, you know, he's gonna get hit with that 5-second penalty. Patriotic might be getting hit with a 20-second penalty as well. So now, mind you, those results are pending, so it's not gonna be official until about tomorrow.
Yeah,
but let's
go through it.
But you know, great race. Let's bring Presidio in here for an interview. Yep. All right. He's gotta be jumping up and down, screaming like a little girl at the moment. And you know what? You can't blame him.
No, absolutely, great race, and you know, he's been really fighting for that win for a while, and he really pulled it off. I mean, just flawless this time.
Yeah,
just
absolutely.
The driving was incredible.
And brilliant pit strategy. I mean, I think he's the only one in both races that has pit once and made it work.
And to be able to keep those tires fresh with the one pit strategy is incredible.
Yep. Now, speaking of the winner, hey, congrats there, Mr. Presidio, Trilogy. Good race.
Oh my gosh! Finally!
You're drenched with champagne, man.
What?
That's incredible.
I can't tell you how great my Haas team is and my teammate. We worked together. We had a great package underneath us. Our pit crews were awesome. Everything worked exactly the way we planned it. At the start, we had a plan. Let's close off the first turn so we can keep ourselves up front. Got a little dicey there with Vasco on that first corner, but after that, it was smooth sailing. There was some time I was concerned about Vasco getting there, but our pit strategies were just a little bit off, and I just had to be patient and race my race. So I want to thank my teammate, Haas, and I want to thank God, and now I'm going to Disneyland.
You're going to Disneyland. Now, I do have a couple questions here for you. It looks like Francisco is kind of throwing some shade there. Do we have a little bit of a rivalry going on?
I haven't seen any shade. I have just was talking with my teammate in the garage after we were wiping all the champagne out of our eyes for a 1-3 finish for Haas, and so I don't have any time for shade. But I'll go over to his trailer and talk to him. Maybe we'll see what's going on.
Yeah,
exactly.
Now, we did have some controversy here between your teammate and Patriotic we'll have to take a look at. But other than that, you know, great use of the pit lanes. Now, you might have not known this, but before the race, me and Joey had planted mines on the race line, and poor Igor's car got blown up. So, were you aware of that explosion?
I was not aware of any accidents or cautions on the track. I was in the zone, just turning my corners and hitting my apexes and hitting my braking marks and trying to not get rattled. I will tell you this, my right foot was shaking the last 2 laps as I was getting excited to win this race.
Oh, I bet.
That's what we were saying. We were saying as you get closer and closer to that finish line, you've got to be vibrating in that chair.
Yep, I was.
Yeah, but
well, good race, man. Congratulations.
Yeah, congrats on that win. Absolutely brilliant racing. Now, I'm going to have to ask you to get out.
I'm gonna go have some more.
I think
someone took the microphone right away from him.
No, it's probably Francisco. I'm looking at the comments there. Francisco is probably beating Presidio with that mic as we are speaking.
I
But
think so. I think so. We'll have to look at those race results and the videotape and see exactly what they're talking about. But rivalry is good, and these guys are both excellent drivers, so they go at each other quite a bit.
yeah, but overall, great race, clean race for the most part. And next week, like we said, we'll be at Fuji Speedway, duking it out for race 6 out of 8 in the regular season. And it looks like the points are going to be tighter than ever, especially after this race between both divisions. But this is your boy, Cupcake, Joey Cannoli. Be sure to check us out on Facebook under the group MRC RWB or the page RWB Racing. Check out the website too, www.rwbracing.com. We've got races, statistics, drivers, pictures, you name it, we got it. We're out. See ya. Bye-bye.